So if you're looking for the kind of traditional, typical carrots that you get from the grocery store, this Nantes variety is the one to look for. This last week I had Jeremy help me pull in basically the last harvest of 2022. We still have a little bit of kale growing that we can harvest, leaves from here and there, but this was our last like real harvest, and that was our carrots. We planted these carrots a couple weeks after we moved in, so that would have been like the middle of June, and we have just let them go the whole time. Our kids pulled up a few small carrots earlier in the fall with their friends, and that was fun for them, but this is the main harvest. And what's good about carrots is if you will leave them in the ground for a couple of frosts, then actually some of the starches in the carrots will actually turn to sugars, which makes the carrots taste a lot sweeter. And so that's kind of the little trick about carrots to get really sweet ones in the fall. You leave them in the ground till they do get a couple of frosts, and they just taste like candy carrots. And so we went ahead and pulled up our candy carrots. You have to be careful. If it gets to the point where the ground is really freezing solid, then you won't be able to get them out. So we had to find a day. We have had some freezing weather as well, and so we had to find a day when the ground wasn't frozen. And there was just a couple of carrots that were kind of up high that did get a little bit of freeze damage, but for the most part, most of them were perfect. I'd put off this harvest a little bit because I was wanting to encourage myself to order a broad fork online, and I still didn't get to that errand. So Jeremy just went ahead and used this garden fork that we have, and he just dug in next to the carrots to loosen the ground a little bit and lift up on it, and then pull the carrots out by their tops. We have a couple different kind of carrots that we grew this year. One variety is I don't know if it's Nant or Nantes carrots, but that is the variety that is the basic grocery store variety of carrots, is this Nant variety. Nantes. I don't know how you say it. And this particular one that I grew was a half-long variety. And half-long varieties, if you are dealing with clay soil and you have struggle with your carrots because of your hard clay soil, then sometimes the half-long varieties are good. I've picked up a half-long variety of parsnip as well. I haven't had parsnips are like carrots, but way harder. So I haven't had tons of luck trying to grow the parsnips. I've gotten a handful of parsnips over the years, but I really would love to be able to grow them a little better. But one problem is when you have the clay soil. A number of times I've grown these mixed color carrots, and I've had some great success in the past. In Texas, I grew a really good batch of tricolor carrots or mixed color carrots. Even though we had spread out a bunch of these seeds, we only ended up with one purple carrot this year. We did end up with some other lighter, more yellow carrots as well, but not very many of those purples, and I do love me some purple. The interesting thing to note about that is that the carrots are not actually a multicolor carrot breed or variety. It's actually just a mix of a number of different carrot seeds. So one problem that you can come up against when you're doing these, this is Livingston's color mix carrots. Like I say, they're even calling it a mix. Well, one problem you can have is that the carrots may not have the same germination dates, and they may not have the same harvest dates or the same maturity dates. Carrots can be kind of tricky to get to germinate, and so typically what I like to do with carrots, and what most people recommend, is covering the carrot seeds with something after you sow them and leaving them covered until you start to see them sprouting. So I covered mine with cardboard, and I would just go spray them every day and make sure that the soil stayed damp under the cardboard. So then when I started to see them sprouting, then I removed the cardboard. So this is where you might come in with a problem if you have a mix of carrot seeds where one germinates significantly ahead of the others. Then you're going to remove your cover or cardboard before the other ones have had a chance to germinate, and they probably won't germinate at that point then if you're uncovering it, because carrot seeds have to be sown so lightly to the surface, so close to the surface, that they just dry out so easily if they're not covered like that. So, and then you can come up with the problem of if you want to try and dig them all at once like we did, which really is kind of necessary because of our clay soil makes it too hard to just, go pull out a carrot here and a carrot there with very much success. When our kids were doing it, they broke off quite a few in the ground, which is a sad waste. We recently got a new refrigerator because the fridge that was in this house was a little bit small for our family, especially now that we have gallons of milk coming in every day. And so we put the old freezer out in the garage. And this type of situation is a great place for storing carrots. These carrots would probably be fine to even just sit in our garage at this point in time. It's cool enough in our garage right now that they could store really well in our cold garage, even if we didn't have a second refrigerator. But carrots do like a moist storage, so you don't want to have them completely dry. Sometimes people will store carrots in either damp sand or damp sawdust, and this helps like have moisture around the carrots, but not so much that they're sopping wet, because too much moisture and the carrots will start to rot. We actually moved these carrots into a food bag and put them back in the crate. So this was a really exciting harvest. As Jeremy kept pulling them out of the ground, we were just so excited, and it just really helped seal in our feelings of success this first garden season in our new homestead, and just really give us a lot of hope for the future and what we can accomplish in future years going forward. So if you have any other questions about growing carrots, leave them in the comments and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.